Adobe Acrobat Studio, so brand new. Show me all the things PDFs can do. Do your work with ease and speed. PDF Spaces is all you need. Do hours of research in an instant with key insights from an AI assistant. Pick a template with a click. Now your prezzo looks super slick. Close that deal? Yeah, you won. Do that, doing that, did that, done. Now you can do that with Acrobat. Now you can do that with the all-new Acrobat. It's time to do your best work with the all-new Adobe Acrobat Studio.
In a world where 80% of the Americans live paycheck to paycheck, earned wage access is a help, is a tool to get to a better place. Welcome to our podcast, It's About Payroll. We're your hosts, Brian Escobar and Walter William Duncan III. Whether you're new to the payroll game or a seasoned veteran, we have something for you. Welcome back, folks. This is episode I wrote it down somewhere. 113?
113,
yes,
yeah.
Episode 113. And we got goodness gracious, we've been like on a little, before I get into all my rants, what's up, Walt? How you been doing, sir?
I've been good, man. No complaints. The move was successful from Michigan to Georgia. So I'm here. It's like my first week. It's complete down here, man.
GA chapter, look out for your boy coming soon in Atlanta.
I already joined the chapter.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so they sent me the welcome email. So I'm going to eventually get involved.
Yes. Hey, shout out to Ainsley. Shout out to John, Christine Sobe, Amy. Gosh, there was another
people here.
So many. No, not only that, because I want to segue right into talking about Payroll Congress. Before we get into the rest of it, we just got a lot of great things to talk about. Some nice pay news. We haven't recorded in a while, like this. We've been sharing some like lost tapes and stuff like that. And for those of you who don't know, lost tapes is, at one point we still have our website, so go check out itsaboutpayroll.io anytime. Our stuff is there. Great content, great merch, little fun things. But at one time we were doing like shows behind a paywall, and then it just didn't work out. We need more followers to get the subscribers that we need. So we said, instead of holding that content back, let's go ahead and share it. It's lost tapes, right? So that's what the lost tapes are, folks. They're a bunch of episodes we recorded that nobody's ever heard. And it's not dated, because a lot of the things that we do are evergreen, right? So those are lost tapes. But this is a new episode. We went to Payroll Congress in, what is that, May?
Early,
May, right?
First week of
Where
May.
are we now? June, early May. So it's about a month ago, and just our first time in Payroll Congress. And before I keep ranting, tell us, what was your experience of Payroll Congress? What did you think of it? What's your feedback?
The biggest takeaway for me was the people. Honestly, just meeting everybody in person, meeting Gerard,
that was so
meeting everyone, Sarah, Jody, everybody that we met, Max, Bart, everyone that we connected with.
People,
I could just keep rattling off names here, but everybody had their own story to share. Everybody was welcoming to us. Everybody was just, for me, I realized that everybody loves payroll, but they also love people. They also love making those connections. Nick Day, we met him. He has an awesome podcast out there.
Yes.
Everybody just has a love for everyone. And Laurel, Sarah, meeting her, reconnecting with her after 15, 20 years of working together. So, we previously worked together like 15 or 20 years ago. And reconnecting with her and seeing how she's just blossomed and how she's just become this awesome payroll pro, her passion for people, man. That's what it was for me, man. Just connecting with people and meeting people in person. That's the biggest takeaway for me. What about you, man?
I'm trying to get like all the names. Pete, we met Pete. We met Aaron and Chris in person. Again, a lot of the guests we've had on.
About Tiffany.
Oh my gosh, Tiffany Gray. Then it goes on and on. No, there's one more. There's one where Gerard introduced us. Really, it was so much, man. Just, again, it was our first time there. I had been to another payroll, not Congress, but a payroll conference by Lucian. But Lucian is a higher ed software. And it was very similar, but nothing compares. Oh, what does Pete call it? Is it Pete? The Super Bowl of payroll conferences? And I agree. It was just, the vendor hall was amazing. You can really see the presence that these different vendors have, and the commitment that they want to bring to payroll. And it was just, bless you, man. it was amazing. It was an amazing experience. I can't wait to go back next year. It's going to be a little closer to both of us now next year.
Yeah.
It'll be in Orlando. They already know. I guess my biggest takeaway is if you're a payroll professional and if you've never been to Payroll Congress, you have to try your best to go. I know could be a little pricey, could be a little expensive, but it is all education, right? For the whole time that you're there. There are classes that you can take 9 to 5. So you can justify to your company, hey, this is absolutely a training week, a learning week, right? And you could even pick out the courses and the sessions that you want to sit in with your boss, with your company, to be like, hey, this is what they're going to cover, and really justify the expense as a business. It is absolutely a business expense. It's a learning experience, opportunity. What can I say? What was it? Education. While we talk about education is one of the most important things for us, and it has to be recurring. You cannot get into payroll and not have recurring education. It was inspiring. It was great to be around all these folks that just love payroll also. And we did a couple of interviews of don't tell me how you got into payroll, tell me why you stood in payroll. Just continuing to go off that fuse that Jody lit for us, and was like, don't tell me why you got into it, tell me why you love it, tell me why you stood.
Man, it also, I don't know if you said the word, but it was also fun.
Yes.
It just wasn't educational. It just wasn't educational. It was really fun. It was really fun. It was really a great time, in my opinion. And it just shed light on, for me, it shed light on the awesomeness of payroll and the people in payroll. It's a lot of fun, man.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. And what we learned going over here, because we weren't sponsored to go, we bootstrapped it, me and Walt ourselves, and it was absolutely worth the expense. Gerard told us that it's worth it. Yeah. And when he said it, I was like, all right, cool. Because we were on the fence for a while. We were like, oh, I don't know. It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
But look out they have 1 day, 2 day, 3 day passes. So you don't have to go for the whole 5 days.
Especially if you're funding it yourself. Yeah.
Especially if you're funding it yourself and you want to go. And it is that serious. As we tell you on this, or as we share, I don't want to say we tell you, no, as we suggest and urge you on this show, invest in yourself as much as you need to and possible. This is one of those opportunities that if your company is just simply not doing it, one, I would quietly start looking for another company to work for, because no, for real, because if they can't support your the growth of your position, come on, what are they doing? What are they doing? So if they don't, I would suggest you do a 1 day pass, do a 2 day pass, and just bootstrap, use your PTO. It's absolutely, maybe they'll just give you PTO on that. Figure out a way. It's worth it. Yeah. And the people are amazing. It was like 3,000 payroll professionals, HR professionals, people who do payroll, wherever department you fall in, finance, accounting, whatever. And there's classes for everyone. Some of them are packed sessions. If I have a complaint, my only complaint is that you can't take every single session offered, because there's so many. They overlap them because they have to. It's just like they want to get all this content out. They want to make it worth your while. And so that's my only thing, is I want to take everything.
But the good thing is that they have those, I forget the specific name of them, but they have those little, like the breakdowns or the PDFs.
The presentation.
The presentations, the decks, right?
The decks,
so They have those that you can download.
You can,
review the classes. So if there was a course you couldn't miss, it was the same time as this one, then you could do that.
Like, it's not the same, but yes.
It is.
And that is true. That's true. I forgot about that. You can get all of the information from all of the sessions to just cover it. But yeah, it was an amazing experience. Can't wait to do it again.
Orlando,
and Orlando 25 will be there again. And that's, I guess that's about it. As I think about things, I'll randomly put them out there. Oh, shout out to Chris and Aaron from Hey Active.
This episode is brought to you by LinkedIn. Healthcare professionals can lead their careers with LinkedIn. Discover jobs by specialty, preferred shifts, and even desired salary. From mental health therapists to radiology technicians, it's now faster and easier for healthcare professionals to find the right fit. Learn more at linkedin.com/healthcare. Side effects may include faster job placement, improved work-life balance, and increased career satisfaction.
For hanging out with us and broke bread and just what great folks, man, great dudes. And we had some great laughs. And one of the biggest things that from that conversation that I do want to share is that what they said was that what they've learning is that a lot of leaders don't really understand the earned wage access product. And that's a shame because it doesn't cost the employer anything, and it absolutely improves the employee experience. So I urge you, if you're a leader that doesn't understand earned wage access, please smarten up. Please go and research. Please ask some experts, some trusted people, what it's about, how it can help your organization. Go ask Pay Active, man. My boys Aaron and Chris over there. Go talk to them, get some information, because it is about the employee experience. You're not hurting your employee, you're helping them. In a world where 80% of the Americans live paycheck to paycheck, earned wage access is a help, is a tool to get to a better place. Yeah, that was it. And we got some pay news. This is a true payroll crime episode. We haven't done one in a while. They're always great info and fun to talk about these type of things. But before we get into that, as always, we have some pay news updates, some payroll news updates for you. Walt is up first because he always is diligent about getting his work done first, so he goes first most of the time.
It's not necessarily true, but appreciate it.
I know, I just love busting your chops.
Yeah, man. All right, so first article I have is a 2020 LinkedIn article from Rene Broft, who's the owner of Paytech, and she discussed some red flags in payroll processes that it could indicate potential fraud. So I'm going to go through these key points. I may not elaborate so much on deeply into things. Just going to go through some key points and some prevention measures that could have been done to help with this. So the number one key point is unusual overtime patterns. So you see significant fluctuations in overtime hours or sudden spikes that aren't consistent. That could signal some fraudulent activities. You know what I'm saying? Just falsifying those time records or having unauthorized or unapproved time off. The next one is frequent manual adjustments. If you see a lot of excessive manual adjustments to employee time cards or records, especially without the necessary documentation or approvals, that could indicate attempts to manipulate payroll data, fraud purposes. Number 3 is you have high employee turnover rates. This one was interesting to me, right? Because I'm like, man, like some industries naturally just have those higher employee turnover rates anyway. But I guess maybe that could be a breeding ground for those ghost employees. You know what I'm saying? Like in those, because I've seen that. I've been in industries that have had those high turnover rates, and there was situations where people had created ghost employees. So that could be a sign of potential fraud too, man.
Absolutely. Yep.
So number 4, unexplained payroll discrepancies. So these are where you have some expected discrepancies, which could be somebody didn't sign their time card in time, or somebody didn't submit a PTO request in time. Those may be expected, human nature. Those things happen naturally in payroll and everything. So you might see something, but where you may see discrepancies at is between the actual what's been paid versus what the actual payroll expenses are. And so that's why finance and accounting is always looking for us to do those reconciliations at the end of each month. So they're going to look at the benefit contributions. They're going to look at tax withholdings. They're going to want to investigate those things just to make sure that there's no potential fraud going on.
Yep.
And then number 5, employee complaints or whistleblowers. Right. So I shared this story. I think you and I shared our own stories about where whistleblowers had come forward about a situation. And my story was where someone called me and asked about overtime and said, hey, I think they're doing something wrong or shady here. We don't know. We're trusting our manager. She keeps telling us that they're good. So that could be potential fraud or theft or whatever it may be. So those things shouldn't be dismissed. You should do prompt investigations when those things occur, because it could be somebody that's, even if it's unknowingly, most times it's not, but even if they're doing something unknowingly, like thinking they're doing, they could be actually.
It could be ignorantly as well.
Ignorant.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are some of the prevention measures that you could do? You could implement those internal controls, segregation of duties. duties in a silo
Balances.
within the payroll process to prevent unauthorized access or manipulation of payroll data. Keep us payroll folks honest. Conduct regular audits, review payroll records to identify and detect those anomalies and ensure compliance. And we should do that ourselves, right? A good payroll pro is going to check ourselves. We're going to check ourselves before we wreck ourselves. So number 3 is provide training and awareness programs for your employees to recognize and report those potential payroll errors or frauds or irregularities, right? Number 4, establish channels for anonymous reporting of suspected fraudulent activities. Encourage whistleblowers to come forward without fear of being retaliated against. So you want your employees to bring something forward. You want to, and that's not the payroll pro. You want to encourage people in your entire company to come forward and say, hey, I don't think this is right. And then the last one, you want to utilize technology solutions. Payroll software, there's some payroll softwares that have built-in fraud detection features, and automate those processes, and it can enhance the accuracy of payroll and reduce the risk of having somebody human mess it up or manipulate the data or whatever. So that's pretty much all I had, man. What about you?
Nice. Pretty much. That's a dope little segment there, buddy.
We all love a legendary comeback, and Degree Original Cool Rush is back and better than ever. Cool Rush isn't just a scent, it's a movement, a fan favorite that delivers bold, fresh vibes and all-day sweat protection. Whether you have a man that spends hours in the gym, heads into the office early, or is just trying to stay fresh on a long day, Cool Rush has their back. Head to your local Walmart or Target and grab Degree Cool Rush, the fan favorite scent from the world's #1 antiperspirant brand.
And I just want to call out something. The reference to Paytech is not the magazine. This business owner, Rene Proft, owns a business named Paytech Inc. So just to separate, because there's also Paytech magazine from Payroll.org.
Yes, sir.
Just to clarify that. And then my little comments. Fraud. I want to shout out Edna Mendez from our LinkedIn. She commented on one of our prior episodes about how to catch fraud. Just so amazingly timed that you actually give her the ways to find these fraud things, right?
Yeah.
So shout out to Edna Mendez. I hope you hear this episode so that you can learn more. And I encourage her just to keep listening, watch the entire episode, listen to the entire episodes, and boom, you got some more there.
I love Edna, man.
I'll try to ping her. Do you know her personally?
Yeah. She used to work with me. She used to be an employee.
If you remember, ping her and let her know this episode 113 is gonna have what she needs. And then what I love is when you could almost say when life meets art with this, right? Because we're reporting, this is our show, but I'm actually going through these same real life examples where timesheets and payroll registers aren't matching and things like that. And we got to, what's the solve and what's the solution here? Why are they off? Put the process in place going forward to make sure it doesn't happen. This happens all the time, folks, where especially where systems, where it's two system, meaning you got a tech stack of your time and attendance system that even if it's integrated with your payroll system, it's two different systems. Things can be lost in transition. And also, and this is where the ignorance comes in, ignorant managers. And the word sounds so bad, but it just means you don't know yet. You don't know what you don't know, right? And managers may be doing things in a way where it's not transparent, where the auditors might look back, or payroll folks like myself may look back at the data and say, oh, wait, there's a difference here, and why? And there's no notes, there's no documentation of why it's happening. So I love when it pulls all these things together that we always talk about: documentation, auditing. This is all real stuff, folks, that happens in real time. And with fraud, again, like Walt said and called out in his prevention measures, knowledge is the key to the offense. You got to know, you got to stay just refreshing and keep on top of these things so that you are able to combat against it.
Absolutely.
My article is from or about Cloud Pay. The quote here by one of their officials is that technology allows for the integration across HR, payroll, and payments to create one seamless modern pay experience. Absolutely. Companies who capitalize on this opportunity will unlock even greater efficiencies across the business. From a gentleman named Grant Tasker at CloudPay. But here's what I like, right? Here's the meat of it, right? Globally, issues per 1,000 pay slips. So, right, pay issues per 1,000 paychecks. Some folks call it pay slips, have fallen for the second consecutive year, and the rate is now 35% lower than it was 5 years ago. So that's a great thing for payroll. The technology is helping to decrease the errors per 1,000 pay slips.
That's
Okay. Data input issues, the proportion of issues caused by mistakes in data input out of all issues affecting payroll also declined slightly, down 1.1% year over year, and is now 10.1%, but 10% lower than when the report was first published in 2019. While these numbers reveal a higher quality of data overall, almost 2/3, 63% of all payroll issues are still caused by data input mistakes.
Yep.
Huge call. And that's what that's what we talk about this all the time. And it's real, like in our real life, real work, not the show all the time. So in the United States, first time approvals, the percentage of payroll runs that are approved at the first attempt and don't require any changes are at 69%. Which is really good, but it's compared globally, it's a little short. Compared globally, 74%. This leaves much room for improvement in the U.S. in the areas of data accuracy and workflow. So U.S. payroll professionals, we still have a ton of work to do, right? We're doing amazing work, but look at that opportunity there that we still have to clean up those issues. What's that? I don't want you to lose your thought. Go ahead.
So you said that 63% of the errors that happen are from data entry.
Yes.
So that's 2/3. If you basically think about it.
That's what I said. Almost 2/3, 63% of all. Yep. Caused by. Now it says data input mistakes. So I don't want to exclusively say it's data entry by humans. Data input. I guess you're right. Yeah. Trying to allow a little grace there, but yes, it could be. It's data input mistakes, folks. That's what it is, right? But
I get what you're saying, though. I get what you're trying to say.
Because it could be an integration. It could be like an API connection. That's an input. So I don't want to say, oh, it's only human error. But that's something that we talk about all the time. We talk to our leaders about it all the time about, hey, we can do this process. And folks, this is a great article to support your cases when you're going to your leaders and your stakeholders about why human entry shouldn't be part of the payroll process, right? We need as much automation as we can get. We leverage the systems, because often you'll get a situation where folks are like, oh, can you do X, Y, and Z? And meaning some payroll input. And we would be like, yeah, but it's going to require manual human entry, which is now exposure. Exposure means you're exposed to error.
Optimism isn't sunshine and rainbows. It's fixing things, changing the way we fix things. It's running the world on smarter energy. Because if optimism never stops, then change can't either. GE Vernova, the energy of change.
Right. You can have, you're ripe for error. Just an amazing article, little nugget that I found late at night. I'm looking for my stuff and I'm like, oh my goodness, what a gem. And this is all, by the way, this is all part of CloudPay's Global Payroll Efficiency Index. So this will be in the show notes, folks, if you want to go dig in more. That whole Global Payroll Efficiency Index is out there, and check that out. So yeah, there's more in the article, but I think that is the call out. That's the biggest call out, right? Pay slips, things like that. So yeah, man, that's it from CloudPay. I do have another one, if you don't mind. We have a new update from a word from our sponsors, and I thought, hey, why not do it live in the show? Are you good with that? Effective July 1st, 2024, a final rule that expands overtime protections for millions of the nation's lower paid salaried workers by increasing the salary thresholds required to exempt a salaried, bona fide executive, administrative, or professional employee from federal overtime pay requirements. The salary threshold will increase to the equivalent of an annual salary of $43,888, and the increase to $58,656,
Wow.
58,060, yep, 660 on January 1, 2025.
It's almost a 40% increase there. 15,000. That's almost a 40% increase there.
Yeah.
So this means that millions of additional workers will be required to track time and attendance now because of that. Whether they are new to time tracking or looking to make a change, Time Track Go provides a simply better solution that you can have up and running in a matter of minutes. If you follow the link in our episode notes, you'll also get your first month free. So don't miss out. To take advantage of the special offer, use the link in the show notes to start your 14-day free trial in the month of June to qualify for your first month free.
Let's go.
Let's get it.
That's our great. Yep. And that's our great sponsors over at Time Track Go. They're great folks. It's a great product. And yeah, check it out. You can get the first month free. They're extending it. They did it for Small Business Month last month, and they're extending it another month as folks prepare for these new changes in time tracking. You could have now an increased population because of this rule that changes. And we'll talk more about that because that is another developing story in the payroll world that will impact payroll pros. So definitely more to come about the salary threshold. I'm sure all of the payroll pros know about it, but if you're new and you're so in the weeds and you haven't realized that it's happening, folks, because sometimes they tease this, right? We're going to do this, and then it doesn't happen. They go back on it.
Yep.
But yeah, so quick word from our sponsors. Thank you for that. And then, let's get into the meat, the whole point of this episode. Nitty-gritty of the true payroll crime, and Walt always procures some really interesting cases, stories, payroll fraud. So go ahead, take us through, sir.
Man, I find it interesting that, thank you for sharing the update especially with the salary increases. I think that's really important
thanks to Time Track Go. Yeah.
For that to be happening and stuff. So shout out to Time Track Go for that. But we did some research a couple of episodes ago, a little while ago. We found out which industries have the highest, are more susceptible to payroll fraud or payroll crimes, and construction was one of those. So this is the construction story here, and it's basically like a shell company.
All comes together.
Yeah, so some shell company operators were sentenced to a multi-million-dollar payroll fraud scheme. So Chief United States District Court Judge Timothy J. Corrigan sentenced two Honduran nationals, Omar Wilkin Santos-Calix and Oscar Rene
Santos-Calix
to 24 months in federal prison for wire and tax conspiracies. Santos-Calix must pay a little over $3 million in IRS restitution and almost $1 million in money judgment, while Santos owes $1.7 million in IRS restitution and a little under $500,000 in money judgment. So what happened, right? So here are some of the key points. Santos and Santos, they established a fake construction company to perpetrate their scheme. Right. So that was the shell company. They acquired minimal workers' comp insurance and rented it to work crews. The duo cash payroll checks issued by contractors, deducting a 6% fee before distributing cash to the crews, totaling approximately, you ready? Drum roll, please. $19 million. Neither the shell companies nor the contractors reported wages to the authorities or paid payroll taxes, resulting in a $5 million tax liability. The scheme evaded higher insurance costs by purchasing policies for $21,000 instead of the required $2.5 million. That's a lot of savings there. Yep.
Yeah.
The investigation and prosecution were conducted by Homeland Security Investigations, HSI, the IRS, Criminal Investigations, and the Florida Department of Financial Services. So, of course, this happened.
Yeah, of course, exactly. Florida man.
Florida man. Florida man. I think it's a shame that we still have this issue in the construction business, but it seems like there needs to be some type of, I know we have the government, I know we have these agencies who catch these things, like these guys are caught. Shouldn't there be, in your opinion, and I may be getting in the weeds here before we get to the preventative measures, but don't you think there should be a way for when these companies are getting set up like that, for those things to be caught ahead of time instead of being so reactive like this? Yeah, it's good that they were caught, right?
Yeah.
And it's easy for me to say on the outside looking in, you could have caught this beforehand.
Exactly.
But the government probably didn't know their intent when they
exactly. Yeah. Exactly. I think it's going to be cases like this that make it like we'll continue to have construction on the radar for these agencies. But there's really, I don't know. I'm not going to say there's no way. I'm going to say that there's not a lot of ways to do it in advance, because you want to give these companies a chance to try to do the right thing, right? In the beginning, you don't know they're going to fraud. You don't know they're going to fraud till later, right? What was that stat you caught? 18 months before they went on. 18 months. And
payroll fraud runs 18 months, man.
And guess what? I forget how they caught it in there, but there are times they probably may not even catch it. So if you're not intentionally looking for something, you may not even catch it. And that's the thing with these shell companies and the construction business. It makes such a bad name for the folks who are trying to do the right thing and earn a living and build a life and build a company and do something great. Yeah, it's tough. It's really tough.
Yeah, you want to do the preventative measures?
Sure. Sure, yeah. So the preventative measures here for this are, number one, implement thorough background checks on individuals involved in establishing businesses and issuing workers' compensation insurance. Yeah, yep. That's a good one. Conduct regular audits and inspections of business financial records and tax filings to identify fraudulent activities, and enforce tax laws and regulations more strictly with collaboration between government agencies, law enforcement to deter similar fraudulent activities in the future. Yeah, it's so tough though. These are correct measures, but it's like, when does this happen? How does it happen? What triggers these things?
And in this case, these guys aren't going to do that.
Exactly.
So they were probably processing the payroll themselves. They were doing all this stuff themselves. Yeah. They didn't have a payroll pro like you or I on to do this stuff and check this stuff and say, hey, and call it out to them. But yeah, so it's to your point. You're absolutely correct. Yes, these are correct, but only in an ideal situation.
Halliday presents, in the red corner, the undisputed, undefeated Weed Whacker Guy. Champion of hurling grass and pollen everywhere. And in the blue corner, the challenger, extra strength Halliday. Eye drops that work all day to prevent the release of histamines that cause itchy allergy eyes. And the winner by knockout is Halliday. Halliday, bring it on.
Yes, exactly right. Thank you. You articulated it perfectly, because I'm like, as nobody's doing this. When they set up their workers' comp insurance, the brokers, you pay the money, here you go. You got workers' comp insurance. And inspections of business financial records and tax filings, if you're paying your taxes and you're filing on time, it's going to take a while for them to catch up, if at all, and then enforce the laws and collaborate with the government, law enforcement. Who's doing that? Not the company. And then it makes me think, oh, wait, this could lead to a point one day where, I don't know, I'm going way.
Payroll police.
Yes, that's kind of what it's kind of on the lines of what I'm thinking. Or you force these companies, hey, you're going to have this business, you have to hire a payroll pro from this organization, because then we'll know that as long as this company does your payroll, then you're allowed.
But right? I like that. I like that idea. I would love for there to be some type of firm of payroll pros or accountants and stuff. I'm sure there is. You have these accounting firms that do these checks and balances, and I'm sure they have payroll experience and backgrounds and stuff like that. But it would be nice if Payroll Org or somebody like that had an arm that did these checks and balances on businesses and stuff like that. It would be nice. Right? Or the IRS, they added an arm to that. Just an idea.
That's a good idea. It's a good idea. Yeah, that and again, just we keep continue to highlight the fact like these different industries, like you said, we call it out, and it's this should arm if you're in a big construction company and a payroll and you got legitimate payroll department, you got legitimate type of setup, then these are the things you want to look for. If it's a small company, again, or if you're like an auditor and they don't have a payroll person, that's a red flag, right? These construction companies that don't have a CPA firm doing their payroll, that could be their first question. Hey, who does your payroll? Oh, we do it ourselves. Ooh, red flag when you're going to audit you.
Yeah, we got to come in and audit you, bro.
We got to come. Yep, we got to come and check it. So I love how it evolved. It elevates the whole payroll industry.
Yeah.
Payroll is an industry. You know what I mean? But yeah, and that's it, folks, for the
Payroll
main
popo.
payroll popo. Yeah. And then as we move into our safe talk segment to close out the show, the question is why? Oh wow, that's a good one. I didn't read that. I'm thinking of the other payroll, the other one. Anywho, why do you think payroll crimes are so enticing to people?
Ooh.
It's temptation. We've seen so time and time again. We see it and it's always at the highest level, right? It's harder for the payroll pros and bigger companies to do. That's a good pattern that we're seeing, right? It just hit me. Most of the cases are for that start at the highest level, meaning the
Yes.
criminal, right?
Yes,
The
it's the
criminal,
owner, it's the VP, it's those
yes,
people. It's not necessarily. There's only been a few cases what we've done. I think the first one,
the first one
Money
we did,
Mike,
Money Mike. Yep,
Mystery at the
yep,
Museum. He was like really one of the only few people that were a
hmm
payroll pro.
yep, yep. So look at that, and that really it becomes the temptation of
Hmm.
things.
Yeah.
It's the temptation that it's like even and part temptation because they're malicious, and in this case they just set out to do crime. And this shell companies, their whole intent was to defraud. But then there's another part of it where there's probably people who are struggling, companies they're struggling to just make ends meet, and
Yeah.
the payroll is always going to be 40 to 50% of your revenue. Okay.
Yes.
And that's a big hit when people
It
are like,
is.
gosh, I got to pay 50% of what I make but hey, if it's payroll, that means you're paying it to your staff, to the people who are
Hmm.
actually helping you stay in business. And if you really want to be intentional, pull the levers and do the things, be a good business operator to reduce that
Yeah.
expense.
Yeah.
But they get so tempted because, as we all know, payroll taxes, the company has to match
Yes. He took the
the Social
FICA.
Security and the Medicare. FICA basically have to match FICA, and it's 7.65% of gross. So
Gross
that's a big.
taxable.
It's in the millions, right? Could be in
Yeah.
the better your company, the more that is,
Yep.
and it's not like a. And another part of it is even the employees part of it, where like the way this works, folks, is the government doesn't direct debit your account every time payroll runs. We're responsible as a company, as companies, as employers, to deduct the right amount and to send that money to the government. What they'll do is not only not match, but in some cases they don't even send the the employees portion over, because they play with it. They're like, oh wait, I could save $1 million right now if I just don't send this payment. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? So those are what do you think?
No, man, I totally agree with you. You articulated it very well. I think they are tempted because they are in those higher positions. And for some of those people, we realized that they had money made them greedy and
Yeah.
they had like certain lifestyles. They want, hey, I'm able to get this car. I'm able to get this, take on this, buy myself a yacht and do this and do that and do this. And it's just that temptation, like you said, that entices them. Is like, hey, I can do this. I have control over these numbers, or I'm in a position where I can dictate or manipulate the data to
Hmm.
favor the outcome that I want. And even if it's wrong, they're like, hey, the money, people, what is that saying? Money changes you.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm
Oh yeah.
saying? Not to get religious or anything like that on you, but shout out to my mom here on this one.
No
But like,
doubt. Shout out.
but the love of money is the root of all evil, right?
That's right.
As it says in the Bible. So that is that enticing because having money Like if you were able to get $100,000 more dollars right now, and they told you, oh, you might have to do something a little shady, some of us might consider it.
Absolutely. Yeah,
You know,
not me.
It's the thought. It's the thought. You know what I'm saying? It's the thought. Okay, you're gonna pay me a $250,000, and all I got to do is just submit this late or just fudge it a little bit. Most of us in the payroll industry have that integrity, and we're not going to do that, right?
Yeah,
but
beyond
some people, just to be honest, some people will consider it like, oh man,
no, of course,
and that's what entices you because they're struggling.
Yeah,
especially
80% of Americans are paycheck to paycheck.
And today's climate and economy, a lot of us are struggling. So that extra 50,000 could change a lot for somebody.
Absolutely. And look, folks, I'm human. Yeah, people are hearing this, whatever. Brian's full of it, but I'm only coming from a place that because I have a close understanding what prison looks like. I've never been there, but I have a close understanding. That's a personal statement. Whatever that means to you, it's a little. I can't tell you all my stuff, but right. Yeah. So I ain't trying to go there.
Yeah, me either, man.
I don't care how much money. It's not worth being away from my family. It's not worth doing that time. Shoot, just go watch. I just saw a series called Blackbird. Awesome series, but it shows prison life. It gives you an idea what prison life is like. And go watch Oz, that whole HBO show Oz from back in the day. That's what, honestly, before I even had personal experience with it, that show scared the life out of me. Yeah, I was like, oh hell no, like
scared straight,
get scared straight. All those shows, like you bugging. You know what I mean? Yeah, no, I'm good.
See, I think it's sometimes it's when I find it interesting, right? Because these people that are already high earners, they're VPs, or whatever.
They're greedy. Yep.
Like they already are high earners in the company.
Yep.
But then you turn around and do something like this, like why?
And you know what's crazy? Yes, thank you for saying it. Because you know what? If they use their power for good, you could make legitimate millions. If you use that intelligence, the scheming because they're smart. They're all pretty smart people that are doing this scheming.
Absolutely.
Like if you just used it for good, you'd be successful. You would have money. You would have ventures. Invest your money in time. You know what I mean? Like you crazy. Come on.
Negotiate something for yourself in your agreement or your contract. Hey, I want some stock options. Or I want some equity, some company equity. Let me get some of that.
Not only that. As we see, it's mostly the owners and the VP, the high ups. Mm-hmm. If already, like you said, you already a high earner. You want to make more, invest in something else. Especially now, like we have more millionaires in the world than there ever been in history, right? The internet and AI and technology is making it possible. More folks than ever can be more comfortable. I'm not gonna say wealthy and rich, yes, but not wealthy. I always think about Chris Rock. He did a stand-up specials back in the day. He said, rich you can blow on, you can lose rich on a good summer and a coke habit. Wealthy you cannot spend. Like wealthy so there's definitely a difference, but rich can become wealthy if you're diligent. You know what I mean? So I don't know, folks. There's so much opportunity in the U.S. and it doesn't have to be shady, grimy type of things. Nowadays, there's enough money and even fast money, because if there's folks making fast money and you know how to tap into that, you can make fast money too, and legitimately and legal. I don't know. Because we're payroll professionals, because we're beyond reproach, we think about these things like, oh, I would never do that. But like you said, there's plenty of people who are succumb to the temptation of it all, or in a bad place and they need it, and things like that. So,
Before we end that, like there's a thing that I just looked up. I just typed in a question in Google right now. Why are people enticed to steal? And it said that stealing may cause the brain to release dopamine, a transmitter that causes pleasurable feelings. So stealing stimulates a pleasant sensation that pushes you to do it repeatedly. So like some of these people, it's an addiction almost to them. So especially if they're gambling, some people like to gamble. Some high earners, a lot of high earners like to gamble. I need more money to gamble away. I'm taking this gamble by doing this.
Gambling for sure.
So it's something that may hit that dope
No, I believe it. I believe it. Great call out. Thanks for that. So that's it, folks, for today. I hope you enjoyed the show. Check out next week's show as we continue to bring you more payroll. We're trying to line up some great guests. We do have a few guests. I don't know exactly who's going to be. Oh, no. We're recording. Well, next week, after this, I always get thrown off because we record in arrears. But we got the wonderful Melissa Vicioso coming back on. We got Brittany Furr coming on. Tiffany Gray agreed to come on. We don't know yet. We haven't scheduled anything yet, but that's in the works. And shout out to Christine Stoll, all the folks that we talked at Payroll or want to come on the show or just got to schedule it. And we're coming. I'm going to reach out soon, folks. But yeah, we got great, probably do another good run of guests, having some awesome guests come on. But those are the ones we do have scheduled for sure. And yeah, look out for more.
Yep.
All right. Till the next time, folks, we love you. Peace.
Peace.
Before we sign off, here are a couple quick things. Don't forget to follow It's About Payroll on LinkedIn and It's About Your Paycheck on Facebook and TikTok.
Thank you for being part of our payroll community, and thank you for being a part of this journey with us. Until the next time, keep learning, keep growing, and most importantly, keep going.